Hello everybody, John here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for coming by. And today's little topic is going to be talking about Halo. Actually, before I get started, I do want to say, sorry if you hear fucking Christmas music in the background. I am at my job yet again. And also too, if you hear some noises like banging, the fire department's here at the place next to the place I work at. So today's video topic is about something that I'm also very passionate about, obviously, and it is Halo, the video game Halo. For those who don't know, Halo is a very popular video game franchise set in the future, where you basically fight against different types of extraterrestrial beings, I guess you can say. The amount of lore behind the universe of Halo is staggering. To put in perspective, the cover art for Halo games, for the Halo games, the merchandise that comes out for Halo, that's official, the Halo Outpost event, which I'll talk about a little bit, all of these things, the trailers, the advertisements, all that, these are all canon in universe to Halo. They are propaganda pieces for the human race in Halo. That's how deep the lore goes, and the lore dates back, since before Halo even came out. There was an ARG that came out. There was a book that came out about a week before the first one came out. And there's been tons of books, comics, novels, manga. There's been movies done, a couple of them. There's a non-canon TV show, the only non-canon piece of property that there is, and everything else is basically canon. Even speculative canon stuff is considered canon to an extent. But to kind of preface this to how much of a fan I am, Halo 1 came out in 2001. I was a baby at that point, and I remember fragments of this point, but I remember Halo 2 a little bit more. Halo 1 a lot because my dad really liked Halo 1. I remember sitting on my dad's lap watching him play Halo 1 and then Halo 2, and then growing up watching him play Halo 3, and then me getting into it years later with like Halo Reach and Halo 4. So Halo's been a very big part of my life. I've played just about every single game except for some of the cancel stuff, like Halo Vista, and I played a little bit of Halo Wars 2, but I know the story. That's the main thing, is the story, and one of the top-down shooters. And when Halo Outpost came, me and my sister, we went to the one in Philly, and that was a hellhole. Philly is just a shithole of a city. There was drug addicts, the sketchy people on the streets, and you had to walk by them. It was summertime, so it was hot, and it's Philly. It's a pain in the ass to get through. It's scary. I wanted it also too. During that point, it was one of the last shows for This Is Hardcore, and the guy that runs it, I forgot his name, is Hardcore something. But anyways, with that tangent out of the way, Halo is not in a good spot right now, I don't think. And a lot of people have the same sentiment. First off, there was the Halo TV show, which was it was a spit in the face to fans and a slap across the face to new members because they treated them like human garbage. Because you treated them like knuckle draggers who had to be spoon-fed stupidity in order to watch Halo, the TV show. And there's been a lot too, with 343 Industries, which has, as of right now, has actually died and became Halo Studios, and a lot of the execs that made a lot of the bad decisions are gone now. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I mean, I wasn't as much of a hater, but I can definitely see I was a hater in the sense that I hated how 343 Industries was treating its employees and also handling the story. But also, too, I wasn't too much of a hater to outright hate the modern Halo games, like throwing out the whole Forerunner as a different species aspect. Um, because I can see a lot of it still working with Halo 1 and 2 when it comes to lore. And I don't care what Martin McDonald says. I mean, he makes great music, yeah, but a lot of awful people make music. He's not a great guy, from what I've heard. I heard he was a douchebag, and he's got some really not okay opinions in my standing. It's not great, and it's weird seeing like people like him in Xperia kind of like sucking his cock a lot. It's those I never really liked Hidden Xperia. Same thing with Halo 5. I never really, the only Halo person that I really like, I watched Hidden Xperia, but I don't like the guy himself. I just don't like him. But the only person that I really liked, it was Halo Canon. God rest their soul. Hope they're doing whatever they're doing. I know they got a lot of backlash because they came out as I'm pretty sure transgender, but also non-binary. So they got a lot of shit from that. For that's video games in general, you're gonna see that. But they made solid Halo content, and they've been gone for 2 years now, and I think that's been a rough 2 years. So I hope they come back. Same thing with Feature History. I hope they're doing okay too. But when Halo Infinite came out, the campaign was good, but it lacked a lot of meat, and a lot of people were thinking, oh, maybe there's going to be DLC. But there never was. And they basically lied with the trailer, the engine trailer, showing all these different ammos you could come about, all these different biomes, but you never did, because they basically lied and said, oh, well, this was just to test the engine. Well, what's the point of testing the engine if you're running all this stuff, all these animals, all these different biomes, all these different vehicles and weapons and all that? And it's just bullshit. And I'm not a huge multiplayer person, but there's been a lot of controversy. There's been a lot of pay to win. There's been a lot of pay to get content that like really shouldn't be locked behind money paywalls. There should be things that you could earn over time and stuff like that. And like the classic armor, some of the classic weapons. I feel like if you have that behind a paywall, I feel like you're just being a scumbag. So, but I recently went back to Halo Infinite, and the campaign is a lot harder than I remembered. Here's some of my gripes with Halo Infinite, Infinite's campaign. First of all, the damage output and the ammo is very low. I feel like there should be more damage, and there should be more ammo given to you. It just doesn't seem like there is. I mean, look at Halo 1. You had like 600 rounds with 60. You had 60 clips. What was that? This. So you had 10 clips of 60 rounds in your assault rifle. But then also too, like in Halo 2, you dealt like a lot of damage with a lot of weapons, especially the precision weapons. Same thing with Halo 3, Infinite. Reach. Even 4 and 5 kind of understood that. Halo 5, they didn't really give you much ammo. I know they're trying to make you use more of the gadgets, but still, it's just not enough. And the enemies are way too buff. Way too buff. It's bullshit. It really is. I think the environment was lacking in ambience. there wasn't enough animals, there wasn't enough areas of nothingness. It was too rocky. I think I have to say, which is, I guess that's where they're going. But for me, I'm more of like Far Cry 5 nailed it. I think there was a lot of good area, a lot of hidden areas in foliage, and that's what I liked about Far Cry 5, and that's what they should have done with Halo Infinite. The other thing too is the friendlies. They can't drive, which sucks. But at the same time too, I don't trust NPCs driving that much. That's scary in my opinion in Halo games. I think the lack of weapons varieties for the UNSC is pretty decent. I mean, there's variations of weapons, but I mean, But recently, like I said, recently I came back and I finished it. I 100% my first save, and I replayed some of the missions with infinite ammo and the glitch cannon, which was really fun. So, I know I keep saying I'm just trying to think of like what else. But overall, it's just like 343 really put a hamper on people understanding the lore. You know, thankfully there's projects where people put, which is something. Hopefully one day I'll talk about the project I'm coming up with. But they put a hamper on like people understand the lore by having so much of it behind books, comics, novels, behind the scenes like access kind of stuff, podcasts. It's just too wide of a range. You gotta narrow it down a little bit. Even like games like Watch Dogs have that a little bit. I mean, they came out with a few books, but nowhere near to the volume Halo has came out. It's ridiculous. And just like you said, just you don't have enough people playing the campaign. There's nothing really great about it other than it's open world. Well, it's open world, but that means it has to be chock full of stuff, and there really isn't. It has the Far Cry effect where it's like the same repetitive stuff over and over again, and you don't really see real change. So I think overall, Halo's in a pretty rough state with the TV show thankfully canceling. But hopefully with 343 Industries closing and renaming Halo Studios, also they're going to the Unreal Engine 5 rather than continuing with the Slipspace engine, or maybe like making a merger between the two. I don't know. But that'll cut down development time by a lot, as I know right now they're already working on the next Halo game. And hopefully just the game, maybe a couple of little lore stuff. And my only other gripe right now is I know it's gonna piss off a lot of people. I wish Jesus Christ, Halo 5 gets put on the Master Chief Collection, because I would love to play that game on Infinite. I know the campaign for Halo 5 is probably the weakest, and it is, but sometimes you just need variety. You just need variety to play games. So, that's my opinion. That's the story of Halo. That's why Halo is so cool. Such a big thing in my life. I love the games. I love the series. I hope it gets a good future, and maybe one day a good end. I don't know. We'll have to see. Alright, well, this video is going on pretty long, so thank you for listening to my ramblings. Hopefully the music in the background isn't too bad, and I will get back to you guys soon. Alright, bye-bye.